Are you a man or merely a male? Do you provide and protect, or are you just existing? Let that question sink in. Let it burn. Because there's a chasm, a Grand Canyon-sized gap between simply possessing the XY chromosome and embodying true masculinity. The kind of masculinity that built civilizations, defended them against all odds, and left an indelible mark on the tapestry of time. I'm talking about the provider-protector mentality, the core, the absolute bedrock of what it means to be an alpha male. It's not a suggestion. It's a requirement. It's the primal imperative etched into our very DNA, and ignoring it is a one-way ticket to irrelevance. This isn't some fluffy, feel-good self-help nonsense. This is about tapping into the raw, untamed power that resides within you, the power that's been suppressed, diluted, and outright demonized by a world that fears strong men. Going to dissect what it really means to provide and protect, not in some abstract, theoretical sense, but in the brutal, unforgiving reality of the 21st century. We're talking about building an empire, not just scraping by. We're talking about becoming a weapon, not just a warm body. The alpha male blueprint is your guide to unlocking this primal power. Think of it as an ancient scroll, rediscovered and translated for the modern man. It's not a set of rules. It's a strategy, a battle plan for reclaiming your birthright. It's about understanding the intricate dance between dominance and responsibility, between aggression and control, between providing a fortress of security and wielding the sword of protection. It's about becoming the lion, not the sheep. And let's be brutally honest about the alternative. Let's stare into the abyss of what happens when a man fails to embrace this mentality. The consequences are devastating, not just for you, but for everyone who depends on you. Weakness, vulnerability, being a leaf in the wind, tossed around by the whims of fate and the machinations of others, being used, being discarded, and ultimately being utterly, completely forgotten by history. Your name unwritten, your legacy non-existent, a ghost, a shadow, a footnote in the annals of time. Is that what you want? To be a whisper instead of a roar? I didn't think so. So listen closely. Define provider with brutal honesty. A provider isn't just a paycheck, he's a fortress of resources. Forget this antiquated notion of simply bringing home the bacon. That's beta behavior. We're talking about absolute, undeniable resourcefulness, a multi-pronged approach to dominating your domain. An alpha male doesn't just have resources. He is the resource. He's the mountain others climb for strength, stability, and sustenance. Let's break down the multiple facets of providing, the pillars upon which this fortress is built. Financial, the obvious. This isn't just about having a job. It's about building wealth. It's about creating multiple income streams, investing strategically, and achieving financial independence. Think of Elon Musk, not just making cars, but revolutionizing entire industries and aiming for Mars. He's not just earning. He's accumulating, building an empire of wealth that grants him power and influence. It's not about being rich. It's about wielding financial power as a weapon, a tool for achieving your grand vision. Think of the Medici family, not merely wealthy merchants, but patrons of the Renaissance, shaping culture and history with their financial might? Are you content with mere scraps, or are you building a financial dynasty? Emotional on your terms. This is where most men falter. They mistake emotional provision for weakness, for becoming a simpering, needy mess. Wrong. Emotional provision for an alpha is about strength and stability. It's about being the unwavering rock in the storm, the calm center in the chaos. It's about understanding the emotional landscape of those around you, not to be manipulated by it, but to lead them effectively. Think of a seasoned general, understanding his troops' fears and anxieties, not to coddle them, but to inspire them to acts of incredible bravery. He provides emotional leadership, a sense of certainty and direction, but always from a position of strength. This isn't about sharing your feelings. It's about projecting unshakable confidence and control, even and especially when facing adversity. This requires mastering your own emotions first, becoming a fortress against internal turmoil. Can you be the calm in her storm, or will you crumble at the first sign of emotional turbulence? Strategic planning, networking, building influence. A true provider doesn't just react, he anticipates. He's a master strategist, always thinking several steps ahead. He builds networks of influence, forging alliances with powerful individuals, creating a web of support and opportunity. He's not just playing the game, he's rewriting the rules. Think of Machiavelli's prince, not just a ruler, but a master manipulator, skillfully navigating the treacherous waters of politics and power. Or consider the ancient Roman emperors, building roads and infrastructure, not just for convenience, but to project power and control across vast territories. This is about long-term vision, about creating a system that works for you, ensuring your continued dominance and success. Are you building your network, or are you just another face in the crowd? Are you planning your ascent, or are you leaving your future to chance? He's not just paying bills. He's building an empire, brick by bloody brick. He's amassing wealth, cultivating emotional control, and forging strategic alliances. He's not just surviving, he's thriving. He's not just a man, he's a force of nature. Look at figures like Jeff Bezos, transforming a small online bookstore into a global behemoth, dominating markets and shaping the future of commerce. That's the level of provision we're talking about. It's not about comfort. It's about conquest. It's about leaving an undeniable mark on the world, a legacy of power and influence. Are you ready to build your empire? Define protector with raw intensity. A protector isn't a bodyguard. He's a weapon. He's not passively waiting for danger. He's actively seeking to neutralize threats before they even materialize. Forget this Hollywood image of a hired guard. We're talking about a primal force, a living embodiment of security, a man calibrated to dominate any challenge. Let's break down the levels of protection a true protector embodies, the kind of man women instinctively crave and other men instinctively respect. Physical protection, the foundation of dominance. This isn't just about knowing how to fight. It's about willingness to fight. It's about cultivating a physical presence that deters aggression. Think of it this way. A lion doesn't always need to roar. its very being radiates power. We're talking about self-defense training, yes, but also about mastering your own body weightlifting, combat sports, anything that transforms you into a physically formidable force. Can you handle yourself in a violent confrontation? Can you defend your loved ones from harm? If the answer isn't a resounding yes, you're failing. You need to embrace the mentality that you are the first and last line of defense. This may involve acquiring and mastering firearms, learning edged weapon combat, or participating in intensive hand-to-hand combat training. This isn't about wanting violence. It's about being prepared for it. It is about being able to unleash controlled, devastating force when necessary. Emotional protection, the shield against the storm. The world is a relentless barrage of negativity, manipulation, and emotional vampires. A true protector shields his loved ones and himself from this toxic onslaught. He's not afraid to call out bullshit, to challenge manipulative behavior, to cut ties with those who drain energy and sow discord. He cultivates an environment of emotional strength and resilience, refusing to allow weakness and negativity to fester. This isn't about being emotionally cold. It's about being emotionally controlled. He understands the power of emotional intelligence, but he wields it as a weapon, not a weakness. He can recognize and deflect emotional manipulation tactics, protecting himself and his inner circle from psychological harm. He creates a sanctuary of emotional stability, a bedrock of support in a chaotic world. Social protection, the lion in the public square. This is where many men falter. They cower in the face of injustice, afraid to speak their minds, terrified of social ostracism. A true protector doesn't care. He stands up for what's right, even when it's unpopular, even when it means facing ridicule or opposition. He's a leader, a voice for the voiceless, a defender of his values. He understands the social pecking order and isn't afraid to assert his dominance within it. He's willing to confront injustice, to challenge authority when necessary, to be the lone wolf howling against the storm. Think of a man who fearlessly calls out a lie in a public forum, or who defends a weaker individual from bullying, or who stands firm against societal pressure to conform to ideologies he believes are wrong. That is social protection. Think of a shield wall Roman legionaries, shoulder to shoulder, their shields interlocked, forming an impenetrable barrier against the enemy. That's the metaphor for a true protector. He's unflinching in the face of adversity, unbreakable under pressure, a constant source of strength and security. He's the wall that stands between his loved ones and the chaos of the world. Developing this protective capacity requires both physical prowess and iron-clad mental toughness. We've already touched on the physical aspect, but the mental game is equally crucial. This is where confrontation and aggression training come into play. This isn't about becoming a mindless brute. It's about becoming a fearless warrior. It's about learning to control your fear, to channel your aggression, to embrace the primal instinct to protect. It's about staring into the abyss and not blinking. It's about developing the killer instinct, the willingness to do whatever it takes to protect what's yours. Think of specialized training programs that simulate high-stress situations, forcing you to confront your fears and develop the mental fortitude to overcome them. This might involve scenario-based self-defense training, or even participation in controlled, competitive environments where you learn to manage adrenaline and make split-second decisions under pressure. The goal is to forge a will of steel, to become a man who can remain calm and decisive in the face of extreme danger. Are you ready to become that weapon? Are you ready to be the shield wall? The unlock strength component. Strength isn't just about muscles. It's about an iron will. It's about forging yourself into an unbreakable force, a weapon against the world's relentless trials. Forget the pathetic whimpers of the modern man's strength is earned, not given. It's carved into your very being through pain, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to becoming something more. We're talking about a complete transformation, a metamorphosis from a mere mortal into a titan. Let's break down the pillars of this transformation. 1. Physical training, the crucible of strength, weightlifting. This isn't about vanity. It's about building raw, functional power. Imagine your body as a sculpture, and each rep, each set, each agonizing drop of sweat is a chisel stroke shaping you into a masterpiece of strength. Embrace the pain, the burn, the feeling of your muscles screaming for mercy. That's the sound of weakness leaving your body. We're talking heavy compound movements, squats that make you question your existence, deadlifts that threaten to rip your spine out but won't because you'll master the form, bench presses that build a chest of armor. Think of the ancient Spartans, the Roman legionaries. They didn't become legends by lifting pink dumbbells. Combat sports, become a weapon. Learn to strike, to grapple, to dominate. Boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling. Choose your discipline and immerse yourself. This isn't just about self-defense. It's about cultivating a warrior spirit, a ruthless aggression that will serve you in all areas of life. Sparring isn't just a workout. It is a test of your resolve. It will expose your fears and force you to overcome them. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing you can handle yourself in any situation, that you're not afraid to meet violence with controlled, calculated force. Concrete example. Think of a boxer stepping into the ring. He's not just fighting an opponent. He is fighting his own doubts, his own fears. Every punch thrown, every blow taken is a testament to his will. He is a warrior, forged in the fires of training and competition. 2. Mental discipline, the unbreakable mind, meditation, not the fluffy, new age nonsense. We're talking about training your mind to be still, to be focused, to be impenetrable. Imagine your mind as a fortress, and meditation is the process of reinforcing the walls, making them impervious to the attacks of stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. Learn to control your thoughts, to silence the inner critic, to cultivate an unshakable sense of calm amidst the chaos. Stoicism. Embrace the ancient philosophy of the Stoics. Accept what you cannot control, focus on what you can, and meet adversity with unwavering courage. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's It's about understanding that life will throw its worst at you, and your only choice is to meet it head on with a steel gaze and an unbreakable spirit. Read Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus learn from the masters of mental fortitude. Pushing limits, comfort is the enemy of growth. Constantly seek out challenges that push you beyond your perceived limits. Run further, lift heavier, work longer, endure more. This is how you forge an iron will. Every time you push through the pain, every time you overcome a challenge, you strengthen your mental resilience. You are literally reprogramming your brain to embrace discomfort, to thrive under pressure. Shocking story hypothetical. A Navy SEAL during Hell Week. Days without sleep, constant physical exertion, relentless mental pressure. Most men break, but the ones who endure, they emerge transformed, their minds forged into weapons of unbreakable resilience. They have stared into the abyss and laughed. 3. Financial power. Wealth as a tool of strength. Money isn't everything, but it's damn near close. It's a tool, a weapon, a shield. It gives you options, influence, and the freedom to pursue your goals without being beholden to anyone. Building wealth isn't about greed. It's about gaining control over your life. It's about becoming a force to be reckoned with. Imagine being able to provide for your family without a second thought, to pursue your passions without financial constraints, to support the causes you believe in. That's power. Develop marketable skills, become invaluable. Master a craft, a profession, a skill that is in high demand. The more valuable you are, the more you can command. Don't be a replaceable cog in the machine. Be the engine that drives it. Invest wisely. Don't just accumulate wealth. Make it work for you. Learn about investing, about building assets, about creating passive income streams. This is how you build long-term financial security, how you create a legacy that will outlive you. Evidence. Look at the wealthiest men in history. They weren't just lucky. They were strategic, disciplined, and ruthless in their pursuit of wealth. They understood that money is power, and they wielded it accordingly. Are you willing to suffer to become strong, or will you remain a weakling forever? This isn't a rhetorical question. It's a challenge. It's a demand for a decision. Will you embrace the pain, the discipline, the relentless pursuit of strength, or will you wither away, a forgotten shadow of the man you could have been? The choice is yours, and the consequences are eternal. Choose wisely. The unlock security component. Security isn't about comfort. It's about control. Forget the illusion of safety nets and fluffy pillows. Real security, the kind that allows you to sleep soundly at night, comes from absolute, unwavering control over your environment and your destiny. It's the power to dictate terms, to be the master of your own fate, and to shield those under your care from the storms of life. How does providing and protecting create this impenetrable sphere of security? Simple, by building a fortress of resources and resilience, brick by bloody brick. Think of it like this. A provider who amasses wealth isn't just hoarding gold. He's building walls. Financial independence is a moat, protecting him from the vagaries of the economy, the whims of employers, and the desperation that drives men to compromise. Emotional provision on his terms. creates a loyal network of allies, bound by respect and mutual benefit. This isn't about being a shoulder to cry on. It's about strategically cultivating relationships that strengthen his position. And strategic provision, the foresight to plan, to network, to build influence, is the watchtower, allowing him to see threats coming from miles away and to maneuver accordingly. A protector, likewise, builds defenses. Physical prowess isn't just for show. It's a deterrent. A man who can handle himself, who has trained in the arts of combat, is less likely to be targeted. He becomes a hard target, and predators, like wolves, seek easier prey. Emotional protection shielding his loved ones from negativity, manipulation, and the toxic influences of the modern world is akin to reinforcing the gates of his fortress. He controls the flow of information, the narratives that shape their minds, ensuring their strength and resilience. And social protection, standing up for what's right, even when unpopular, is the ultimate declaration of dominance. It's a signal to the world: this is my territory, and I will defend it. Self-reliance is paramount. Independence is the cornerstone of true security. Why? Because relying on others, the government, society, even your so-called friends, is a fool's game. These are shifting sands, unreliable alliances that can crumble at any moment. The government is a bureaucratic behemoth, more concerned with its own survival than your well-being. Society is a fickle mob, easily swayed by the latest outrage, ready to turn on you in an instant. Even friends can betray you, driven by envy, greed, or their own weakness. Security is like a fortress you build yourself, not a handout you beg for. Every brick represents a skill learned, a resource acquired, a relationship forged in steel. Every wall is a testament to your discipline, your determination, your unwavering commitment to control. The higher the walls, the thicker the gates, the stronger the foundation, the more secure you and your circle will be. Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Build your own damn castle. Don't rely on the kindness of strangers. Forge your own destiny. Don't be a sheep waiting for the shepherd. Be a lion, the king of your own domain. Are you starting to understand the sheer power of this? This isn't about paranoia. It's about proactive dominance. It's about becoming the architect of your own security, the unyielding master of your fate. And what could be more alpha than that? What's the alternative, anyway? To cower in fear, hoping that someone else will protect you. That's the path of the weak, the beta, the forgotten. Choose strength. Choose control. Choose security. The unlock legacy component. Legacy isn't about being remembered. It's about building something that endures. Forget the fleeting whispers of fame, the pathetic yearning for applause. That's the vanity of lesser men. True legacy, it's the cold, hard reality of something tangible, something unshakable, that you forge with your own two hands and your iron will. It's the empire that stands long after your dust, the system that operates flawlessly because you designed it, the principles that guide generations because you instilled them. Think beyond a tombstone. Think of a dynasty. The provider-protector mentality, when fully embraced, is the very engine of lasting impact. A man who merely takes leaves nothing behind but a void. A man who provides and protects, who builds and defends. He creates. He lays the foundation for something greater than himself. He ensures the survival and prosperity of his lineage, his community, his ideals. This isn't about selfless charity. It's about strategic, long-term dominance. It's about ensuring that your values, your bloodline, your vision prevails. It's the ultimate expression of alpha, power the power to shape the future. Consider the great conquerors, the empire builders, the men who etched their names into the very fabric of history. Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, were they remembered for their gentle smiles and kind words? Absolutely not. They were remembered because they conquered, they provided for their armies, they protected their territories, and they built empires that, even in their crumbled state, still inspire awe. They understood that true power lies not in fleeting moments of glory, but in the enduring structures of power they erected. These men may have used brutal, ruthless methods that would be demonized as toxic today. But look at the results. Their actions, though perhaps cruel by modern standards, shaped civilizations. They were providers and protectors on a colossal scale. They were not nice guys. They were leaders, architects of their own and their people's destinies. Even outside of conquest, consider men like Henry Ford. He didn't just build cars. He revolutionized industry, providing jobs and a new way of life for millions. He protected his vision from naysayers and competitors, relentlessly driving forward. His legacy isn't just the Ford Motor Company. It's the entire concept of mass production, a system that continues to shape our world. Or consider a man like Elon Musk, whatever your final opinion of him might be. He is a provider of innovation, pushing the boundaries of technology and exploration. He is a protector of his vision, relentlessly pursuing his goals despite constant criticism. His legacy is yet unfolding, but the ambition is undeniable. To unlock your legacy, you must have a vision that transcends your own limited lifespan. What are you building? What are you defending? It doesn't have to be a global empire. It can be a thriving family, a successful business, a community built on strong principles. The key is to think generationally. What will remain when you are gone? How will your actions today influence the world of tomorrow? Are you creating something that will crumble at the first sign of weakness? Or are you building something indestructible, a monument to your strength and foresight? Your actions today will echo through eternity. What will they say? Will they whisper of a life wasted, of potential unfulfilled, of a man who merely existed? Or will they roar with the power of a life dedicated to building, providing, protecting, and leaving behind a legacy that will stand the test of time? Will they speak of a man who submitted to the weakness and mediocrity, or a man who dominated his domain and shaped the world around him, leaving his indelible mark and leaving a legacy of steel? They call it toxic masculinity. We call it necessary. Let's cut the pretense, shall we? This whole toxic masculinity charade is nothing more than a thinly veiled attack on the very foundations of strength, order, and dare I say, civilization itself. They whisper about aggression, dominance, and emotional suppression, as if these are diseases to be eradicated. I say they are the bedrock upon which great men and great societies are built. Think about it. Who charges into burning buildings? Who stands between the innocent and the wolves at the door? Who builds the infrastructure, defends the borders, and shoulders the heaviest burdens of society? It's not the hand-wringers, the perpetually offended, or the emotionally incontinent. It's men who have embraced, not rejected, the very traits now demonized as toxic. The provider-protector role, far from being oppressive, is the sine qua non of a functioning society. It's the unshakable pillar that holds everything else aloft. The man who provides, who truly provides financially, emotionally, strategically, creates a zone of stability, a bastion against the inherent chaos of existence. He's not controlling. He's creating order. He's not suppressing. He's channeling his energy towards productive ends. And the protector, he's not a brute. He's a guardian. He understands that the world is not a safe space, filled with fluffy bunnies and endless affirmations. It's a battlefield, and weakness invites aggression. The ability, the willingness, to use force when necessary to defend oneself, one's family, one's principles is not toxic. It's essential. This isn't about picking fights. It's about being prepared for them. It's about developing the physical prowess and mental toughness to stand unflinching in the face of adversity. It's about embracing confrontation and aggression training, not as a means to become a bully, but to transform into a fearless warrior, a shield against the storm. This relentless assault on masculinity, this attempt to emasculate and neuter men, is a deliberate strategy. It's a calculated dismantling of the very structures that prevent society from collapsing into barbarism. They want to replace strength with weakness, courage with cowardice, and responsibility with victimhood. Because a society of weak, dependent men is far easier to control. So I ask you, with every fiber of my being, who will protect the weak if the strong are demonized? Will stand against the tide of chaos if the very concept of masculine strength is deemed problematic? Who will build, defend, and lead if men are taught to apologize for their inherent nature? The answer, my friend, is a resounding no one. And that is precisely the point. They don't want strength. They want submission. They don't want protectors. They want prey. Don't fall for their lies. Embrace the so-called toxicity. For within it lies the power to forge your destiny and shape the world around you. The alpha male blueprint in action. This isn't theory. This is a call to arms. We've laid the groundwork, exposed the lies, and revealed the path. Now, it's time to become the embodiment of the provider protector, the living, breathing alpha. Forget passive wishes. We're talking about concrete, actionable steps, a relentless march towards unshakable dominance. Each step you take is a hammer blow forging your destiny, a symphony of steel against weakness. One financial domination, the fortress of resources brutal assessment. Where are you really financially? Not where you wish you were, but the cold, hard truth. List every debt, every asset, every source of income. Knowledge is power, and financial ignorance is self-inflicted castration. Ruthless goal setting, Forget vague notions of saving more. Set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART goals. For example, increase net worth by 20 in 12 months by acquiring X asset, or eliminate all credit card debt within 18 months through Y strategy. Write them down. Tattoo them on your soul if you have to. Multiple income streams. A single income source is a single point of failure. Diversify. Explore side hustles, investments, real estate, online businesses, anything that expands your financial empire. Become a hydra of income, each head spewing forth resources. Budgeting as weaponry. Track every penny, every single one. A budget isn't a restriction. It's a strategic battle plan for your finances. It dictates where your resources are deployed, ensuring maximum impact and eliminating wasteful leaks. Investment as conquest. Learn to invest. Stocks, bonds, real estate, cryptocurrency become fluent in the language of wealth accumulation. Don't gamble. Invest. Think like a general deploying troops, strategically positioning your assets for long-term growth and domination. 2. Physical prowess. The weaponized body, the temple of iron. The gym is your new church. Weightlifting is your prayer. Build muscle, not just for aesthetics, but for power. Think of yourself as a walking fortress. Squats, deadlifts, bench presses, overhead presses, these are your sacraments. Aim for raw strength, the kind that radiates intimidation. Combat readiness. Learn to fight. Boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, choose a discipline and master it. This isn't about picking fights. It's about being capable of handling yourself in any situation. It's about developing the predator mindset, the unwavering confidence that comes from knowing you can defend yourself and those you care about. Cardiovascular dominance. Run, sprint, swim, cycle. Build an engine that can endure. Stamina is a weapon. The ability to outlast, to outwork, to outfight is crucial. Imagine yourself chasing down prey or escaping danger. Your life depends on your endurance. Nutrition as fuel. You are what you eat. Garbage in, garbage out. Fuel your body with high-quality protein, complex carbohydrates, and healthy fats. Think of food as ammunition for your physical and mental arsenal. Avoid processed foods, sugary drinks, and excessive alcohol. These are poisons that weaken your resolve. Rest and recovery. Your body is a weapon, and weapons need maintenance. Prioritize sleep. Aim for 7-9 hours of quality sleep each night. This is when your body repairs itself, rebuilds muscle, and consolidates strength. Overtraining is self-sabotage. 3. Mental fortitude. The unbreakable mind, Stoic philosophy. Embrace Stoicism. Learn to control your emotions, to accept what you cannot change, and to focus on what you can control. This is the bedrock of mental toughness. Read Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. Let their wisdom forge your mind into an impenetrable fortress. Meditation as sharpening. Practice daily meditation. Even 10-15 minutes can make a profound difference. Meditation isn't about emptying your mind. It's about training your focus, strengthening your attention, and developing the ability to observe your thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. It's like sharpening your mental blade. Confrontation training. Practice facing discomfort. Cold showers, public speaking, approaching strangers, initiating difficult conversations. Deliberately seek out situations that push you outside your comfort zone. This is how you build resilience, how you inoculate yourself against fear. Each uncomfortable situation is a victory, a strengthening of your mental armor. Assertiveness as a shield. Learn to say no. Learn to set boundaries. Learn to express your needs and desires clearly and confidently. This isn't about being aggressive. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your resources. It's about commanding respect. Practice assertive communication in everyday interactions. Continuous learning. Never stop learning. Read books, listen to podcasts, take courses, constantly expand your knowledge and skills. Knowledge is power, and a sharp mind is a deadly weapon. The more you know, the better equipped you are to navigate the world and achieve your goals. Become a student of life, a perpetual learner, a master of your domain. 4. Consistent action. The relentless forge. This isn't a one-time fix. This is a lifestyle. Consistency is key. Small, daily actions, compounded over time, create monumental results. Think of it like building a brick wall, one brick at a time. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be setbacks. There will be challenges. But the alpha perseveres. He pushes through the pain, the doubt, the resistance. He embraces the struggle because he knows that on the other side of that struggle lies strength, dominance, and an unbreakable legacy. He does not merely exist, he conquers. Are you ready to conquer? Or will you simply fade away, another forgotten whisper in the wind? The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Choose to become the alpha. Embracing the no more Mr. Nice Guy philosophy within the provider-protector framework. Nice guys finish last. Providers and protectors finish first. Let's be brutally honest. The world doesn't reward weakness. It preys on it. Being a nice guy, constantly seeking approval, bending over backward to please everyone, that's not kindness. It's a self-inflicted castration. It's a deliberate dismantling of your own power, rendering you incapable of fulfilling your primal duties as a provider and protector. How can you provide when you're constantly giving away your resources, your time, your energy, your money to every whim and demand, leaving nothing for yourself and those who actually depend on you? How can you protect when you're too afraid to assert yourself, to draw a line in the sand, to say no? With the force of a thunderclap, being overly agreeable is a disease. It's a virus that infects your decision-making, turning you into a puppet dancing to everyone else's tune. You become a leaf in the wind, tossed about by the demands of others, incapable of charting your own course. This passivity undermines your ability to provide and protect on every level. Financially, you'll accept less than you deserve. Emotionally, you'll become a dumping ground for other people's negativity. Socially, you'll be walked all over, a doormat for anyone with a shred of dominance. This isn't about being cruel. It's about being effective. It's about understanding that your resources are finite and you have a responsibility shackles, if you will, to allocate them wisely, prioritizing your own well-being and the well-being of your inner circle. Assertiveness, therefore, is not optional. It's essential. It's the backbone of the provider protector. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's saying, my time, my energy, my resources are valuable. I will use them to build my empire, to protect my own, and I will not be depleted by frivolous demands. Prioritizing your own needs within the context of fulfilling your responsibilities is not arrogance, it's self-preservation. A depleted provider provides nothing. A weakened protector protects no one. Think of it like this. You're a general leading an army. If you starve your troops and neglect their training, how can you expect them to win the battle? You as the leader must be at your strongest, your sharpest, your most resourceful to lead them to victory. The same principle applies to your life. This ties directly into traditional masculinity and the provider-protector mentality. The men of old, the men who built civilizations, weren't nice guys. They were strong, decisive, and yes, sometimes ruthless. They understood that the world is a harsh place and weakness is not tolerated. They embraced their masculine energy, their drive to conquer, to build, to protect. They didn't apologize for their strength. They wielded it. And this brings us to a crucial point, a point that will likely trigger the weak-minded. Absolutely rejecting femininity in men. This isn't about hatting women. It's about rejecting the traits often associated with femininity that are detrimental to a man's ability to be a provider and protector. Excessive emotionality, indecisiveness, passivity, a victim mentality. These traits are poison to a man's core being. They are the antithesis of strength and decisiveness. A man must cultivate his masculine energy, his stoicism, his relentless drive to achieve, to become unstoppable. Kindness is a virtue. Weakness is a sin. A provider shows kindness strategically to his loved ones, to those who deserve it. But weakness is a liability, a cancer that must be ruthlessly excised. Only then can you truly embody the alpha male blueprint, becoming the provider and protector you were destined to be. Become the man you were born to be, a provider, a protector, an alpha. This isn't some self-help guru's empty promise. This is a primal scream echoing from your very DNA. It's the roar of your ancestors, the men who conquered, who built, who survived. Are you going to let their sacrifices be in vain? Are you going to cower in the shadows, letting the world dictate your fate? Or are you going to seize control? This provider-protector mentality isn't just about you. It's about something far greater. It's about the legacy you leave behind, the safety and security you provide for those you love, the very fabric of a strong, functioning society. When men abdicate their responsibility, when they shrink from their duty, chaos reigns. Weakness breeds vulnerability, and vulnerability invites destruction. Look around you. The world is screaming for strong men, for leaders, for protectors. Don't you see it? Don't you feel it in your gut? Erosion of values, the decline of order, it's a direct consequence of men failing to embrace their inherent roles. This isn't about toxic masculinity. It's about essential masculinity. It's about the unwavering strength that built civilizations, the iron will that defended them, and the unyielding determination that will rebuild them. It's about embracing the fire within, the untamed spirit that yearns to conquer challenges and leave a lasting mark on the world. This is your moment. This is your challenge. This is your call to arms. Every single day presents a choice. Will you be a sheep, passively accepting whatever scraps are thrown your way? Or will you be a lion, a force of nature, a king in your own domain? Will you succumb to the insidious whispers of weakness? Or will you rise, defiant and unyielding, to claim your birthright? This alpha male blueprint, this provider protector mentality, it's not a suggestion. It's a demand. It's a demand you place upon yourself. It's the standard you hold yourself to, the unwavering expectation of greatness that drives you forward. It's the bedrock upon which you will build an empire of strength, security, and enduring legacy. Stop making excuses. Stop delaying. Stop thinking and start doing. The time for hesitation is over. The world needs strong men. Will you answer the call?